Shame on you, you strumpets.
Yeah, it should be a great show tonight. And first up tonight, she's one of Australia's brightest shining lights in London and one of the nicest people you'd ever meet, Dannii Minogue.
Dannii Minogue is one of Australia's favourite daughters. We watched her grow up on Young Talent Time, and 30 years later, her career is hitting an all-time high. She's a musician, a judge on the biggest TV show in the UK. She's got a new clothing line and has just released her first book. On top of a thriving career, her personal life couldn't be better. After locking eyes with model Chris Smith across a room, her life changed forever. They are now the proud parents of beautiful baby Ethan. She's one of the most likeable people you could meet, and somehow between nappies, TV and fashion designing, she's managed to find time to sit down and chat to me, and I can honestly say I've never seen her happier.
Well, Dannii, thank you very much for joining us on the show. I know you're absolutely flat out.
I want to say welcome to London. You're here all the time, and the only time I get to see you is when you interview me.
OK, so we just catch up. That's fine. It's great. Yeah. Well, thank you for taking time. We're in London, yes.
Yeah.
What about Ethan? How's he loving London?
Ethan, who knows if he knows where he is, but he's just fitted into everything. I mean, he's backstage at X Factor. He's come along to everything that I've done, and thankfully he's just such a good baby and sort of eats and sleeps all at the right time. And if you're a parent watching this, you know, you go, oh, yes, and if you're not a parent, you'll be saying, what is she talking about?
Being a mother, I reckon, is the hardest job in the world.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy being a mum?
I do. I love it. I never thought it was in me. And it is life-changing, but I think to do it with Chris, who's a very hands-on dad, that suits me because he's very involved, and I don't think I could do it any other way.
So you share duties? He's not one of those guys that, you know, old school that says, you know, I'll just come home, you just do the nappies. He does all that stuff as well?
He did all the first nappies. I didn't have a clue how to change a nappy. He did the first ones, and then he had to teach me.
So he's ruining it for all of us.
He's ruining it for all of you guys. No, he's very full on, and I mean, he was since since I was pregnant. He was just so excited, waiting, and yeah, he's a good dad. And when we went for one of the first scans, and you know, you're laying down there and they've got the stuff on your tummy and they're doing this to see the baby, and we're looking up at the screen, and the obstetrician said, do you want to find out if it's a boy or a girl? Yes. And we decided, yes, we do want to find out. And when the obstetrician said, it's a boy, he went, yes! Oh, man, I just watched that reaction, but I guess that's a guy thing.
Now, the Ashes is on in Australia at the moment, so...
Yeah.
You know, I remember my last Ashes match in Melbourne, looking around the ground, and then I saw you in Bay 13.
Yeah.
Chris, your partner, English?
Yes.
You Australian,
yeah.
Proud Australian, Ashes on Australia. Is there going to be much rivalry between the two of you?
Of course there will be.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I need to be doing the dance going, we won,
no, 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 no. Exactly.
Please, please.
Please win, yes.
I know, because it's a nightmare if you're Australian and you lose the Ashes, you come back to London, you get in a black cab, and boy, do you cop it. I mean...
You do. I know exactly what you mean,
You cop the conversation. Even, you know, even if I sit in the back and go, oh, I don't follow cricket, they say, yes, but you're Australian.
Exactly right.
And they give it to you the whole journey. So, yeah, we've got to win.
How did music really enter the Minogue house, like Ron and Carol, your mum and dad? How did they... What was the music they were listening to? Like, I remember it was Rod Stewart, there was Maggie May, there was singing all that Slade, Fleetwood Mac. We had so many different ones. What about in the Minogue household? What was the tunes?
Growing up, I remember Mum and Dad would have dinner parties, and it would always be Stevie Wonder, Roberta Flack, like very, very cool stuff.
Yeah.
For the kids' music we had at home, it was all about ABBA, all about Grease, the musical. And for Brendan, it was AC/DC and Kiss. So it was quite eclectic. But yeah, there's always been a love of music in the house. Yeah. There's always something blaring from a stereo.
Yeah. Now, we know you're a huge star in Australia, but over here in England, you are absolutely massive. Enormous. We've got X Factor, which is the biggest show over here. It's just enormous. You're the face of the Christmas catalogue for Marks and Spencer.
Spencer's, yeah.
You're ambassador for Etihad, who are good friends of our show as well. They travel us around.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. I know all of us in Australia are really proud of you. So well done,
You
Dad.
rooting for me?
No, you're doing unreal. It's just so good for you to do. You know, you're such a wonderful person. You're doing unreal.
Thank you. It's nice to have that support.
No, it is. You're doing well. It's unreal. But all of that stuff, juggling all of that, and now you say, I'm going to pen a book. But was there specific issues that you wanted to deal with? Was there anything that you thought, you know what, this is going to, this is my story, as you call it? Is this is how it was, rather than all the rubbish that was out there and the innuendo and all that stuff? This is what it was about. So was there issues that you wanted to get out there to say, just to clear the air?
I think that I wanted to have everything in there that explains who I am today and how I got here, and a lot of them link in and they're sort of relevant to creating the person that you are, that you become. And I guess I've seen since the book has come out in Australia, there's obviously a lot of people interested to read about the marriage and the divorce and all of that. And it truly was a massive part of my life. And things that happened really affected who I am today. And looking back, you'd never want to go through any of that, but you stand up and you say, oh, well, I'm a stronger person because of it. And there's nothing in the book that I ever wanted to write that it wasn't about slamming anyone or saying nasty things. It was just to say that that's what happened at the time. And I really, really enjoyed doing the earlier years too, because I would sit down with Mum and Dad and really talk to them about, as a kid, you're looking at everything, you're looking up, and your memory is a certain way, but sort of sitting down and asking them, actually, how was it? Because I remember my childhood being happy and fun, and then I'd sit down with Mum and Dad and they were telling us, you know, the house we lived in when we were born, in the street there was no sewage, there was no this, there was no that. It was a really poor area. That's all that they could afford at the time. But I never remember that. I never saw that. And now, sort of being a mum, and you think, am I ready to have a baby if I got this, this and this? And
all organised,
actually, it's just, you know, you need that love and support around you. All of the rest of the stuff is irrelevant.
Which is great, isn't it? As to have an environment like that, you're very lucky. So fashion, TV, music, front page of catalogues, magazines, mother. What's next? International sporting career, or definitely out, or?
No sport for me. I think probably a cup of tea and put my feet up.
I'm
looking forward to getting back to Australia, and all I can think of is just getting there with my mates, putting on a few tunes. You'll be DJing.
But give me the call, we're there.
Cool.
Okay, right, last bit. I'm going to ask you 6 spinning questions, Dannii.
Yeah.
You've got to play them well.
Yeah.
And you've got to tell me the... technique. And you've got to tell me the first thing that comes in your head.
Okay. Let's try it.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
I'd be the Queen for a day.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Lizzie.
Like it. Okay. What's the one song when it comes on you have to dance to?
I think, I know it's really embarrassing, but Dancing Queen, I think, is pretty much everyone's ABBA on the dance floor.
Okay. Boxers, briefs or commando? On a man, of course.
Briefs.
Briefs?
Yeah, spinners are pretty good.
Yes, very good, Dannii.
They did get the thumbs up from me when Chris was walking around in them,
very good, thank you. Beatles or Bieber?
Beatles.
Beatles?
Beatles.
Yes, good call. Okay, here's a good one for you. Let's just say you're a judge on a show, on a TV show, and a young 16-year-old Dannii Minogue walks out and she's just sung. What would you say to her?
I'd say keep trying, keep practising. I don't think I could do it.
Okay.
I couldn't see myself doing that.
Okay.
I see the pressure these kids are under today, and no, I wouldn't have the front for it.
Okay. Australia is great because?
Everyone's friendly.
Very good.
That's the first thing I think about.
Very good. Dannii, thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for coming to London.
You've been an absolute pleasure. We're all proud of you and we love you. Thank you.
Barbie at mine soon. You did promise about that DJing.
Done.
Cool.
very good. Yes, we are proud of Dannii. Also, a big thank you to our great mates at Etihad Airways for getting us around and being able to do these interviews all over the world. So, well, everyone was gripped by last week's Ashes Test match, and big Mervyn Hughes spent Saturday at the Gabba to show all you non-cricket lovers what a great day out at the cricket can be.
Well, Warnie, here we are at the Gabba, the first test of the Ashes series.
I'm Dannii. Look forward to seeing you on Warnie coming soon.